The world is not always as it seems. Behind the facade of diplomacy and peace treaties, a hidden war rages. This is the world of secret wars, where battles are fought in the shadows and victories are rarely celebrated openly. It's a world of espionage, sabotage, and covert operations, where the line between right and wrong becomes blurred. These conflicts, often invisible to the public eye, have shaped the course of history for centuries. From the ancient empires to the modern digital age, secret wars have been an integral part of international relations. They represent the undercurrents of power struggles, political machinations, and ideological conflicts. While traditional warfare relies on brute force, secret wars operate in the realm of stealth and cunning. The weapons are whispers, not guns. The battlefields are back alleys and embassy hallways, not open fields. Understanding secret wars is crucial to comprehending the complexities of our world. These covert conflicts influence global events, topple governments, and reshape alliances in ways that traditional warfare cannot. By delving into the shadowy world of espionage and subterfuge, we gain a deeper understanding of the forces that shape our past, present, and future. The roots of secret warfare run deep, stretching back to the earliest civilizations. Even in ancient times, rulers understood the value of covert operations. They employed spies to gather intelligence on their enemies, saboteurs to disrupt their operations, and assassins to eliminate rivals. These early secret wars, though lacking the sophistication of modern covert operations, were no less deadly or impactful. In ancient Greece, the Spartans were renowned for their espionage network, the Crypteia. Young Spartan men were trained in the art of stealth and subterfuge, tasked with infiltrating enemy territory and gathering intelligence. They lived off the land, often resorting to thievery and assassination to survive. The information they brought back was crucial to Sparta's military successes. The Roman Empire, too, had its share of secret wars. Emperor Augustus, known for his shrewd political maneuvering, established a network of informants and spies throughout the empire. These agents, known as the frumentarii, were tasked with monitoring potential threats to his rule, quelling dissent, and gathering intelligence on foreign powers. The frumentarii played a crucial role in maintaining stability within the vast Roman Empire. Over the centuries, the methods and strategies of secret warfare evolved alongside technological advancements and shifting geopolitical landscapes. From the coded messages carried by carrier pigeons in medieval times to the sophisticated cyber attacks of the 21st century, the tools of espionage have become increasingly sophisticated. Yet the fundamental principles of secrecy, deception, and manipulation remain unchanged. The Renaissance and the Age of Exploration saw a surge in espionage activities. As European powers vied for control of trade routes and colonies, the need for accurate information about rivals' intentions and capabilities became paramount. Spies infiltrated royal courts, posing as diplomats, merchants, or even servants to glean valuable secrets. Codes and ciphers were developed to protect sensitive information from falling into the wrong hands. The invention of the printing press in the 15th century had a profound impact on secret warfare. Propaganda and disinformation became powerful tools, used to sow discord among enemies, influence public opinion, and shape the narrative of conflicts. Pamphlets and broadsides, often filled with half-truths and outright lies, were distributed widely, further blurring the lines between fact and fiction. The ancient world, though lacking the technological advancements of later eras, was no stranger to the subtle dance of espionage. Information was power, and rulers relied on discrete networks of informants and spies to maintain their grip on power and outmaneuver their rivals. These early practitioners of covert warfare understood the importance of secrecy, employing rudimentary yet effective methods to gather intelligence and spread disinformation. One notable example is the use of spies in ancient Egypt. Pharaohs, keen to protect their kingdom from both internal and external threats, deployed agents to infiltrate rival courts and nomadic tribes. These spies, often disguised as merchants or travelers, would gather information on troop movements, political intrigues, and potential uprisings. Their reports, often relayed through coded messages or hidden in seemingly innocuous objects, provided the pharaohs with a crucial advantage in maintaining stability and expanding their influence. In ancient China, the art of war was elevated to a philosophical and strategic level. Sun Tzu, the renowned military strategist and author of The Art of War, emphasized the importance of intelligence gathering and deception in warfare. He believed that a skilled commander should have foreknowledge of the enemy's plans, strengths, and weaknesses. This led to the development of sophisticated espionage networks within ancient Chinese kingdoms, with spies operating at all levels of society, from the royal court to the battlefield. The Persian Empire, known for its vast size and complex administrative structure, also relied heavily on espionage to maintain control and thwart potential enemies. The Persian king Darius I established a network of secret agents known as the eyes and ears of the king. These agents were stationed throughout the empire, tasked with reporting on any signs of rebellion, corruption, or external threats. Their reports allowed the Persian rulers to respond swiftly and decisively to any challenges to their authority. As empires rose and fell, the practice of secret warfare continued to evolve, adapting to new technologies and shifting political landscapes. The medieval period, often characterized by its feudal system and religious conflicts, saw the rise of secret societies and clandestine orders, many of whom employed espionage and intrigue to further their goals. These groups, shrouded in secrecy and often operating outside the bounds of traditional law, wielded considerable influence, playing a significant role in shaping the political and religious landscape of the time. One such group was the Hashashin, an Islamic sect active in the Middle East during the 11th and 12th centuries. Feared for their use of targeted assassinations, the Hashashin were masters of disguise and infiltration, able to blend seamlessly into crowds and gain access to heavily guarded locations. Their methods, though often brutal, were highly effective, striking fear into the hearts of their enemies and influencing political decisions through carefully orchestrated acts of violence. In Europe, the Renaissance saw the rise of powerful city-states, each vying for dominance and influence. These states, particularly those in Italy, developed sophisticated systems of espionage and diplomacy. Ambassadors were not merely diplomats but also skilled intelligence gatherers, tasked with uncovering the secrets of their host courts and reporting back to their own governments. Codes and ciphers became increasingly complex, as did the methods of concealing messages with invisible inks and steganography, the art of hiding messages within other messages or objects, becoming commonplace. The Age of Exploration, which saw European powers venturing across the globe in search of new trade routes and territories, further fueled the need for effective espionage. Spies were sent ahead of expeditions to gather information on local customs, resources, and potential threats. They played a crucial role in facilitating trade, establishing colonies, and securing strategic advantages over rival powers. The information they gathered, often at great personal risk, shaped the course of European expansion and the global order that emerged. The 19th century, marked by the rise of nationalism, colonialism, and industrialization, witnessed a dramatic escalation in secret warfare. The competition for resources, territory, and global dominance among European powers, particularly Great Britain and Russia, played out not only on traditional battlefields but also in the shadows through a complex web of espionage, diplomacy, and covert operations. This era came to be known as the Great Game, a term popularized by Rudyard Kipling in his novel Kim, which vividly depicted the clandestine struggle for control of Central Asia. At the heart of the Great Game lay the rivalry between the British Empire, seeking to protect its vast colonial possessions in India, and the expanding Russian Empire, eager to extend its influence southward. Both sides employed a vast network of spies, informants, and adventurers, tasked with gathering intelligence, sabotaging each other's efforts, and influencing local rulers. This clandestine conflict involved everything from forging alliances with local tribes, to spreading disinformation and even instigating rebellions to destabilize each other's positions. One of the most prominent figures of the Great Game was Arthur Connolly, a British intelligence officer who embarked on several daring expeditions into Central Asia in the mid-19th century. Disguised as a merchant or a pilgrim, Connolly traveled through treacherous terrain, gathering information on Russian activities and attempting to forge alliances with local leaders. His efforts, though ultimately unsuccessful in preventing Russian expansion, provided valuable insights into the region and the dynamics of the Great Game. Another key player was Nikolai Przhevalsky, a Russian explorer and intelligence officer who undertook several expeditions to Tibet, a region considered strategically important due to its proximity to British India. Przewalski's expeditions, conducted under the guise of scientific exploration, were in reality thinly veiled intelligence-gathering missions. He mapped the region, collected information on Tibetan customs and political structures, and even brought back numerous plant and animal specimens, all the while keeping a watchful eye on any signs of British influence. The First World War, despite its image of trench warfare and large-scale battles, was also a breeding ground for modern espionage. The need for accurate intelligence on enemy troop movements, technological advancements, and strategic planning became paramount. Secret agencies on all sides of the conflict expanded rapidly, recruiting civilians with language skills, analytical minds, and a knack for subterfuge. Spies used a variety of methods to gather information, from posing as neutral civilians to infiltrating enemy lines. Women played an increasingly important role in espionage, as their perceived innocence often allowed them to move more freely across borders and gain access to restricted areas. One such woman was Mata Hari, an exotic dancer who was accused of spying for Germany and executed by the French in 1917. The advent of new technologies such as radio and telegraphy revolutionized communication during the war, but it also created new opportunities for interception and code-breaking. The British, for example, established a dedicated code-breaking unit at Bletchley Park, which played a crucial role in decrypting German communications throughout the war. The information gleaned from these intercepts provided valuable insights into German strategy and troop movements. The First World War also saw the rise of propaganda as a weapon of war. Governments on all sides poured resources into shaping public opinion, using posters, pamphlets, and films to demonize the enemy, boost morale at home, and garner support from neutral countries. This marked a turning point in the history of secret wars, demonstrating the power of manipulating information to influence the outcome of conflicts. Espionage in the Second World War reached unprecedented levels of sophistication and impact. The stakes were higher than ever before, with entire nations locked in a life-or-death struggle. Intelligence gathering and covert operations became crucial to the war effort, shaping the course of battles, toppling regimes, and ultimately influencing the outcome of the conflict. Nazi Germany, under the control of the Gestapo and the Sicherheitsdienst, established a vast and ruthless intelligence apparatus. Their tactics involved infiltration, sabotage, and psychological warfare, aimed at sowing chaos and undermining enemy morale. The Allies, in response, developed their own sophisticated espionage networks with agents operating behind enemy lines, providing vital intelligence and conducting sabotage missions. One of the most famous examples of wartime espionage was the work of the Allied codebreakers at Bletchley Park. Led by brilliant mathematicians like Alan Turing, they successfully deciphered the German Enigma code, giving the Allies a crucial advantage by providing them with access to German military communications. The intelligence gleaned from these decryptions proved invaluable in numerous battles, including the Battle of the Atlantic and the Normandy landings. The Second World War also witnessed the rise of special operations forces, trained in unconventional warfare and tasked with conducting covert missions behind enemy lines. These units, such as the British Special Operations Executive and the American Office of Strategic Services, played a pivotal role in supporting resistance movements, sabotaging enemy infrastructure, and gathering intelligence. Their daring exploits, often shrouded in secrecy, became the stuff of legend, inspiring generations of Special Forces operatives. The end of the Second World War did not bring an end to secret wars, but rather ushered in a new era of espionage, defined by the ideological conflict between the United States and the Soviet Union. The Cold War, as it came to be known, was a global chess match, fought not on traditional battlefields, but through proxy wars, propaganda, and a relentless battle for intelligence. Both superpowers poured vast resources into their respective intelligence agencies, the CIA for the United States and the KGB for the Soviet Union, engaging in a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. The Cold War saw the development of new technologies for espionage, including spy satellites, listening devices, and increasingly sophisticated methods of code breaking. Espionage during the Cold War extended beyond traditional intelligence gathering. Both sides engaged in covert operations, seeking to influence political events, topple unfriendly regimes, and support rebel groups that aligned with their interests. These covert actions often had far-reaching consequences, shaping the political landscape of many countries, particularly in Latin America, Africa, and Asia. The Cold War also witnessed the rise of the double agent, individuals who spied for both sides, often motivated by ideology, money, or a complex mix of both. These double agents played a dangerous game, walking a tightrope between loyalty and betrayal, and their actions could have significant repercussions for the intelligence agencies they deceived. The stories of these double agents, often shrouded in secrecy and revealed only years later, provide a fascinating glimpse into the shadowy world of Cold War espionage. The Korean War, often overshadowed by the broader Cold War, was a significant conflict that exemplified the growing role of secret wars in the 20th century. While conventional armies clashed on the Korean peninsula, a hidden war raged behind the scenes, with both sides employing covert operations to gain an advantage. The rugged terrain and the political complexities of the region provided fertile ground for espionage, sabotage, and psychological warfare. The United States, eager to contain the spread of communism, deployed the CIA and other intelligence agencies to gather information on North Korean and Chinese troop movements, as well as to support anti-communist guerrilla groups operating behind enemy lines. These covert operations aimed to disrupt supply lines, sow discord among enemy ranks, and gather vital intelligence on enemy intentions. The Soviet Union, backing the North Korean regime, also engaged in extensive covert operations during the Korean War. Soviet advisors provided training and support to North Korean intelligence agencies, helping them establish networks of spies and informants in South Korea. These agents gathered information on US and South Korean military operations, sabotaged infrastructure, and spread propaganda to undermine morale. The Korean War also witnessed the use of psychological warfare on an unprecedented scale. Both sides employed leaflets, radio broadcasts, and loudspeaker systems to try and demoralize enemy troops and sway civilian populations to their cause. These propaganda efforts often played on existing fears, prejudices, and cultural sensitivities, highlighting the growing importance of manipulating information in modern warfare. The Vietnam War, a protracted and bloody conflict that deeply divided American society, became a hotbed for covert operations. The dense jungles, complex political landscape, and unconventional nature of the war made it an ideal environment for espionage, sabotage, and guerrilla warfare. The CIA played a significant role in the conflict, conducting a wide range of covert operations aimed at undermining the communist North Vietnamese government and its allies. One of the most well-known covert operations of the Vietnam War was the Phoenix Program, a counterinsurgency program aimed at neutralizing the Viet Cong infrastructure in South Vietnam. The program involved intelligence gathering, targeted assassinations, and psychological operations, often targeting suspected Viet Cong members and sympathizers. The Phoenix Program remains a controversial chapter in the history of U.S. covert operations, raising ethical questions about the use of extrajudicial killings and the targeting of civilians. The CIA also played a crucial role in supporting anti-communist guerrilla groups operating in Laos and Cambodia, neighboring countries that became embroiled in the Vietnam War. The agency provided these groups with training, weapons, and logistical support, hoping to tie down North Vietnamese forces and prevent the spread of communism throughout Southeast Asia. The Vietnam War also highlighted the limitations of covert operations in the face of determined enemy resistance and a complex political environment. Despite significant U.S. investment in covert warfare, the North Vietnamese government and the Viet Cong proved remarkably resilient, adapting their tactics and maintaining their commitment to their cause. The Vietnam War demonstrated that even the most sophisticated covert operations cannot guarantee victory without a clear political objective and a deep understanding of the local context. The Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union extended far beyond Europe and Asia, reaching into the heart of Latin America. The region, with its history of political instability, social inequality, and revolutionary movements, became a battleground for covert influence, as both superpowers sought to shape the political landscape to their advantage. The CIA, operating under the assumption that the spread of communism in Latin America posed a direct threat to U.S. national security, engaged in numerous covert operations aimed at propping up friendly regimes and undermining leftist governments and movements. One of the most infamous examples of U.S. covert intervention in Latin America was the 1954 Guatemalan coup d'état. The CIA, concerned about the leftist policies of democratically elected President Jacobo Arbenz Guzman, orchestrated a covert operation to overthrow his government. The operation, codenamed PBS Success, involved supporting an armed invasion by exiled Guatemalan military officers, spreading disinformation to undermine Arbenz's support, and providing weapons and training to the opposition forces. The success of the Guatemalan coup emboldened the CIA, leading to further covert interventions in Latin America throughout the 1960s and 1970s. The agency played a significant role in the 1964 Brazilian coup d'état, which overthrew the democratically elected government of João Goulart, and the 1973 Chilean coup d'état, which ousted the socialist government of Salvador Allende. These interventions, often justified as necessary to combat the spread of communism, had a profound impact on the political trajectory of the region, leading to decades of authoritarian rule, human rights abuses, and instability. The Soviet Union, though less active in Latin America than the United States, also engaged in covert operations in the region, primarily through its support for Cuba after the 1959 Cuban Revolution. The Soviet Union provided Cuba with economic and military assistance, helping it to withstand U.S. attempts at isolating the island nation. Cuban intelligence services, trained and equipped by the KGB, also played a role in supporting leftist guerrilla movements in other Latin American countries, further fueling the Cold War rivalry in the region. Espionage, the clandestine world of spies and secrets, has captivated the human imagination for centuries. It's a world of intrigue, betrayal, and high stakes where individuals operate in the shadows, risking their lives to gather information and influence events. These masters of deception, often operating under assumed identities and blending seamlessly into their surroundings, possess a unique set of skills and a psychological resilience that sets them apart. The life of a spy is far removed from the glamorous portrayals often seen in fiction. It's a life of constant pressure, requiring unwavering loyalty, nerves of steel, and an ability to think quickly under duress. Spies are trained to observe, analyze, and manipulate, always aware that their actions could have far-reaching consequences. They live in a world of aliases, coded messages, and clandestine meetings, their true identities known only to a select few. The world of espionage is not without its moral ambiguities. Spies often operate in a gray zone where the lines between right and wrong become blurred, and the ends are often used to justify the means. They may be called upon to engage in deception, manipulation, and even violence, all in the service of their country or cause. This moral complexity, coupled with the inherent danger of their profession, makes espionage a particularly challenging and demanding field. Despite the risks and moral dilemmas, espionage remains a crucial aspect of international relations. In an increasingly interconnected and complex world, where information is power, the ability to gather intelligence and understand the intentions of adversaries is essential for national security. Spies operating in the shadows play a vital role in shaping the course of history, often without recognition or reward. Legends of espionage, from Mata Hari to Philby. The annals of history are replete with stories of spies who, through their cunning, daring, and sheer audacity, left an indelible mark on the world of espionage. These individuals, often shrouded in mystery and controversy, operated in the shadows, their true allegiances and motivations remaining elusive even today. Their exploits, often bordering on the fantastical, continue to fascinate and inspire, offering a glimpse into the shadowy world of covert operations. Mata Hari, the exotic dancer turned alleged spy, remains one of the most recognizable figures of World War I espionage. Operating in the high circles of Parisian society, she used her charm and allure to gather information from high-ranking officials, though the extent of her espionage activities and true allegiances remain a subject of debate to this day. Her story, a tragic blend of glamour, intrigue, and betrayal, continues to captivate the public imagination, cementing her status as an icon of espionage. Kim Philby, a British intelligence officer who rose to prominence within the ranks of MI6 while secretly working as a double agent for the Soviet Union, is a chilling example of the devastating impact a well-placed mole can have. Philby, along with his fellow Cambridge 5 spies, passed on highly classified information to the Soviets for years, compromising Western intelligence operations and influencing the course of the Cold War. His betrayal sent shockwaves through the intelligence community, leading to a reassessment of recruitment and security procedures. Virginia Hall, an American spy who operated behind enemy lines in Nazi-occupied France during World War II, demonstrated extraordinary courage and ingenuity in the face of extreme danger. Working with the British Special Operations Executive and later the American Office of Strategic Services, she established resistance networks, coordinated sabotage missions, and provided vital intelligence to the Allies. Despite a disability that made her work even more perilous, she evaded capture and became one of the most decorated spies of the war. These individuals, operating in different eras and theaters of conflict, exemplify the diverse nature of espionage and the extraordinary qualities required to thrive in this clandestine world. The craft of spycraft techniques and trade secrets. The world of espionage is a complex and multifaceted one, requiring a unique set of skills and a deep understanding of human psychology. Spies are trained in a variety of disciplines, from surveillance and counter-surveillance to cryptography and interrogation, honing their abilities to gather information, manipulate individuals, and operate undetected in hostile environments. The craft of spycraft, often passed down through generations of intelligence officers, is a blend of art and science, requiring both innate talent and rigorous training. One of the fundamental skills of a spy is the art of observation. Spies are trained to notice subtle details, to read body language, and to detect inconsistencies in stories. They learn to blend into crowds, to become invisible observers, absorbing information from their surroundings without drawing attention to themselves. This ability to observe and analyze, to piece together seemingly unrelated bits of information, can often be the key to uncovering hidden plots and understanding the motivations of adversaries. Communication is another crucial aspect of spycraft. Spies rely on secure methods of communication, from coded messages and dead drops to sophisticated encryption technologies, to transmit sensitive information back to their handlers without detection. They must also be skilled in the art of deception, able to maintain cover identities, fabricate stories, and manipulate individuals to reveal information or assist in their missions. This ability to lie convincingly, to project a false persona, is essential for survival in the high-stakes world of espionage. Espionage also relies heavily on technology, with spies utilizing a range of gadgets and tools to gain an advantage. Surveillance equipment, such as hidden cameras and listening devices, allows spies to monitor targets and gather information discreetly. Cyber espionage, involving the infiltration of computer systems and networks, has become increasingly prevalent in the digital age, allowing spies to steal sensitive data, disrupt infrastructure, and sow discord remotely. As technology continues to advance, the tools of spycraft evolve alongside it, creating new opportunities and challenges for intelligence agencies around the world. The Digital Age of Espionage. The advent of the digital age has revolutionized the world of espionage, ushering in a new era of cyber warfare, satellite surveillance, and global interconnectedness. The traditional tools of spycraft disguise, dead drops, and coded messages have not become obsolete, but rather augmented by a vast array of technological advancements that allow intelligence agencies to operate with unprecedented reach and efficiency. The internet, with its ability to transmit vast amounts of data across borders at lightning speed, has become a fertile hunting ground for spies. Cyber espionage, involving the infiltration of computer systems and networks, allows intelligence agencies to steal sensitive information, monitor communications, and disrupt infrastructure remotely, all without the need to send agents across borders. This has led to a dramatic increase in the scale and sophistication of cyber attacks, with governments and corporations alike becoming targets. Satellite surveillance, once the exclusive domain of superpowers, has become increasingly accessible, providing intelligence agencies with a powerful tool for monitoring activity around the globe. High-resolution images captured from space can track troop movements, identify military installations, and even monitor individual targets, providing valuable insights into the intentions and capabilities of adversaries. The proliferation of commercial satellite imagery has further democratized access to this technology, blurring the lines between government and private sector intelligence gathering. The digital age has also brought about new challenges for intelligence agencies tasked with protecting their own secrets. The same technologies that facilitate espionage can also be used to expose covert operations, leak classified information, and undermine intelligence gathering efforts. The rise of whistleblowing platforms like WikiLeaks, which allow individuals to anonymously leak sensitive information to the public, has highlighted the vulnerabilities of even the most secure intelligence agencies in the digital age. Cyber warfare, a relatively new addition to the lexicon of conflict, has emerged as a major front in the 21st century. Unlike traditional warfare, which relies on physical force, cyber warfare is waged in the digital realm, targeting computer systems, networks, and critical infrastructure. It is a silent, often invisible form of conflict, but its impact can be devastating, disrupting economies, sowing chaos, and even threatening national security. Cyber attacks can take many forms, from relatively simple denial-of-service attacks that overwhelm websites and networks with traffic, to sophisticated malware designed to steal data, disrupt operations, or even cause physical damage to critical infrastructure. These attacks can be launched by nation-states, criminal organizations, or even individuals with the requisite technical skills, making it difficult to attribute attacks and respond effectively. The Stuxnet worm discovered in 2010 is a prime example of the potential of cyber warfare to disrupt critical infrastructure. Widely believed to have been developed jointly by the United States and Israel, Stuxnet targeted Iran's nuclear program, causing centrifuges used to enrich uranium to malfunction and delaying the country's nuclear ambitions. The attack demonstrated the potential for cyber weapons to inflict real-world damage, blurring the lines between the digital and physical realms. Cyber warfare presents unique challenges for governments and international organizations grappling with how to deter and respond to these attacks. The attribution of cyber attacks can be difficult, as attackers often operate through layers of proxies and servers located in different countries, making it challenging to identify the perpetrators with certainty. This anonymity, coupled with the low cost of entry and the potential for devastating impact, makes cyber warfare an attractive option for both state and non-state actors seeking to gain an advantage over their adversaries. As technology continues to advance at an exponential pace, the nature of secret wars is likely to continue evolving, presenting new challenges and opportunities for intelligence agencies around the world. The increasing convergence of cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological realms, creating a complex and rapidly changing threat landscape. Artificial intelligence, with its ability to analyze vast amounts of data, identify patterns, and make predictions, has the potential to revolutionize espionage. AI-powered systems can be used to sift through massive datasets of communications, financial transactions, and social media activity, identifying potential threats, uncovering hidden connections, and even predicting future events. This could give intelligence agencies a significant advantage in anticipating and responding to threats, but it also raises concerns about privacy, surveillance, and the potential for algorithmic bias. Biotechnology, another rapidly advancing field, also presents both opportunities and challenges for the future of secret wars. Advances in gene editing, synthetic biology, and other areas of biotechnology have the potential to create new biological weapons, tailor-made viruses, and other biothreats that could be used to target specific populations or individuals. The development and use of such weapons would have profound ethical and security implications, requiring international cooperation to establish norms and prevent their proliferation. The future of secret wars is likely to be characterized by a constant race between those seeking to exploit new technologies for espionage and those tasked with defending against these threats. Intelligence agencies will need to adapt quickly, developing new tools, techniques, and partnerships to stay ahead of the curve. This will require a new generation of intelligence professionals with the technical skills, cultural awareness, and ethical grounding to navigate the complex and ever-evolving world of 21st century espionage. Secret wars, waged in the shadows and often hidden from public scrutiny, have left an indelible mark on the course of human history. From the clandestine operations of ancient empires to the sophisticated cyber warfare of the 21st century, These covert conflicts have shaped political landscapes, toppled governments, and influenced the outcomes of major global events. The legacy of these secret wars is complex and multifaceted, marked by both triumph and tragedy, ingenuity and ruthlessness, and a constant tension between the pursuit of national security and the preservation of ethical principles. The very nature of secret wars, shrouded in secrecy and often operating outside the bounds of international law, makes it difficult to fully assess their impact. Victories are rarely celebrated openly, and defeats are often concealed or spun to fit a particular narrative. This lack of transparency can erode public trust, fuel conspiracy theories, and make it challenging to hold those in power accountable for their actions. The use of covert operations can also have unintended consequences, destabilizing regions, creating power vacuums, and leading to cycles of violence that are difficult to break. Despite the ethical complexities and the potential for blowback, secret wars are likely to remain an enduring feature of international relations. In an increasingly interconnected and competitive world, where information is power and the stakes are high, governments will continue to rely on intelligence agencies to gather information, counter threats, and advance their interests in the shadows. The challenge for policymakers and intelligence professionals alike is to ensure that these covert operations are conducted with a clear understanding of the risks, a commitment to ethical principles, and a recognition that even the most carefully planned operations can have unintended and far-reaching consequences. Espionage, by its very nature, operates in a moral gray zone. Spies are often called upon to deceive, manipulate, and even betray in the service of their country or cause. They may be asked to break laws, violate the privacy of individuals, and engage in activities that would be considered unethical or even criminal in other contexts. This moral ambiguity, coupled with the inherent danger of their profession, makes espionage a particularly challenging and morally fraught field. The question of whether the ends justify the means is a perennial one in the world of espionage. Proponents of covert operations argue that they are necessary to counter threats, protect national security, and advance national interests in a dangerous world. They point to instances where intelligence gathered through espionage has prevented terrorist attacks, exposed hostile intentions, and provided crucial insights that would have been impossible to obtain through other means. Critics, however, argue that the use of covert operations can erode democratic values, undermine the rule of law, and create a climate of secrecy and suspicion. They point to instances where intelligence agencies have been used to spy on citizens, suppress dissent, and support authoritarian regimes, often with disastrous consequences. The challenge for those operating in the world of espionage is to balance the need for secrecy and effectiveness with the imperative to uphold ethical principles and respect the rights of individuals. The moral dilemmas inherent in espionage are not easily resolved. There are no easy answers, no clear-cut guidelines that can be applied to every situation. Ultimately, the ethical choices faced by spies and intelligence professionals require careful consideration, a nuanced understanding of the context, and a willingness to grapple with the moral complexities of operating in the shadows. As the world enters the third decade of the 21st century, the landscape of secret wars continues to evolve at an unprecedented pace. The rise of new technologies, the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, and the emergence of non-state actors with global reach have created a complex and volatile security environment, one that demands new thinking and innovative approaches to espionage and covert operations. The digital revolution has fundamentally altered the nature of espionage, creating both opportunities and challenges for intelligence agencies. Cyber espionage, satellite surveillance, and the ability to collect and analyze vast amounts of data have given spies unprecedented reach and access to information. However, these same technologies have also made it more difficult to maintain secrecy, protect sensitive information, and operate undetected. The battle for information dominance is now being fought in the digital realm, requiring new skills, technologies, and partnerships to stay ahead of the curve. The proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, particularly nuclear weapons, poses another significant challenge for intelligence agencies. The consequences of failing to detect and prevent the use of such weapons are catastrophic, making it imperative for intelligence agencies to develop effective means of monitoring proliferation networks, tracking fissile materials, and anticipating threats. This requires close cooperation between intelligence agencies, law enforcement, and the scientific community, as well as a willingness to share information and coordinate efforts on a global scale. The emergence of non-state actors, such as terrorist organizations and transnational criminal networks, has further complicated the landscape of secret wars. These groups often operate in the shadows, exploiting weak governance, porous borders, and the anonymity of the internet to advance their agendas. Countering these threats requires a different approach, one that focuses on building partnerships with local communities, disrupting financial networks, and countering extremist ideologies online. Navigating the shadows in the 21st century requires intelligence agencies to be agile, adaptable, and innovative. They must be able to operate effectively in both the physical and digital realms, leverage emerging technologies, and foster strong partnerships with domestic and international partners. Perhaps most importantly, they must remain grounded in a strong ethical framework, recognizing that their actions have consequences and that the trust placed in them by the public is paramount. The future of secret wars will be shaped by how effectively intelligence agencies can adapt to these evolving challenges while upholding the values and principles that underpin a free and open society.